In the heart of Kenya, deep within the lush forests, lived a small, clever hare, Kakasungura, and a towering, mighty elephant, Ndovu. Now, everyone in the animal kingdom knew about the hare's wit and the elephant's strength, but none ever imagined these two would end up in a contest. Yet one fateful day, that's exactly what happened. It all began when the hare, feeling quite proud of himself, hopped over to a watering hole where the animals were gathered. He saw the elephant boasting about his strength to anyone who would listen. "With just a stomp, I can shake the ground," the elephant declared, lifting his massive foot and bringing it down with a thunderous boom. The smaller animals scattered, frightened by the tremor. The hare, watching this display, smirked. "Strength is impressive, but wit? Now that's a real skill," he said, his eyes glinting with mischief. The elephant laughed, his deep voice echoing. "Hare, don't make me laugh. What can a tiny thing like you do against someone as mighty as me?" "Let's find out," said the hare, undaunted. "Let's have a tug-of-war contest. If you're as strong as you say, you'll have no trouble beating me." The other animals gasped, their eyes shifting between the little hare and the giant elephant. "A challenge," they whispered among themselves, excitement bubbling in the air. The elephant, confident he'd win, readily agreed, but the hare had a trick up his sleeve. "All right, elephant," said the hare. "Let's meet back here at dawn. I'll take one end of the rope, you take the other, and we'll see who's truly the strongest." The elephant chuckled and nodded. "Prepare to be humiliated, little hare." That night, while the elephant slept soundly, the hare raced through the forest to the river, where his friend the hippo lived. The hippo was enormous, with a power to rival even the mighty elephant. "Good evening, Hippo," said the hare, feigning exhaustion. "I've had a long day and need a favor." "What do you want, Hare?" asked the hippo, lazily flicking his ears. "Well, Elephant and I are in a contest. He thinks he's stronger than everyone, but I know you're the strongest. Could you help me prove him wrong?" The hippo grinned. He had no love for the boastful elephant and was delighted to help. "What's the plan? Tomorrow at dawn, you take this end of the rope and pull as hard as you can. Elephant will be on the other end." "Thinking it's me he's fighting against," said the hare, eyes gleaming. The hippo agreed, already looking forward to the contest. The next morning, as the first rays of sunlight filtered through the forest, the hare bounded over to the waiting elephant. "Ready, elephant?" "Always ready," he replied, grabbing one end of the long rope with his trunk. The hare darted off, but instead of holding the rope himself, he tied his end securely around a sturdy tree near the riverbank, where the hippo was waiting on the other side. "All right, pull!" the hare shouted from the middle of the forest, though neither the elephant nor the hippo could see him. And so, the battle began. The elephant dug his feet into the ground, pulling with all his might, the rope taut and trembling. On the other side, the hippo braced himself in the river and pulled back, the water splashing and swirling around him. Both the elephant and hippo were powerful and determined. With each tug, they grew more and more determined to outdo the hare on the other side. The elephant's muscles strained, his feet sliding back slightly. "What? How can this little hare be so strong?" he grunted, sweating and heaving. Meanwhile, the hippo, equally surprised, thought, "This hare must be hiding his strength all this time." The other animals watched in amazement as the ground shook and trees swayed. The hare, perched on a nearby rock, laughed so hard his little body shook. He had tricked the two mightiest animals in the forest, all without lifting a paw. For hours, the elephant and hippo continued pulling with all their might, both refusing to give in. But eventually, the elephant, exhausted and dripping with sweat, gave one last tug and stumbled back, defeated. The hippo, thinking he had won, gave a triumphant snort and let go of the rope, sending a spray of water high into the air. The hare hopped back over to the elephant, who was panting heavily. "Well, elephant," he said, trying to keep a straight face, "I told you strength isn't everything." The elephant, realizing he had been outsmarted, gave a sheepish grin. He had to admit, the hare's wit had won the day. From then on, he was much quieter about his strength and showed a bit more respect for the smaller animals. And so, the hare's clever trick became a tale whispered throughout the forest, a reminder that, sometimes, wit is mightier than strength.
Stories of the land, voices of the past, Africa's heartbeat, deep and vast. Join the journey, learn and see our culture, our tales, our legacy. From drums that beat to tales that sing, African stories we proudly bring. Languages, culture, wisdom and lore. Step into Africa, there's always more.